Back in early 2020, the Tested team and I flew to New Zealand to visit our friends at Weta Workshop as they embarked on their most ambitious project yet. A sprawling exhibition celebrating the creative genius and the deep problem solving that Weta Workshop and Richard Taylor have made world famous. That exhibition, now called Weta Workshop Unleashed, is open for public display in Auckland, New Zealand, and I cannot wait to see it in person. But until then, let's go back and visit me and the Tested team in early 2020. As we've been traveling around this week covering their location-based experience, it turns out there's a set they have mostly complete that we can take a look at, and their fearless leader, Richard Taylor, is going to walk me through it himself. And one of the things I love about getting Richard's take on this stuff is seeing both how he has the widest possible view and yet an attention to the smallest possible detail. And that doesn't mean he's a micromanager. It just means that the delight he takes in making it work is completely infectious. Let's take a look.
So the Forge, this is a fantasy version of a blacksmithing shop that might be in our dreams if we could do our swords in this manner.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm looking around and I'm feeling like I can see bits of almost every technology you've ever used in this set.
Well, more of Joseph's wonderful atomizing water effects in here, and just LEDs underneath vacuum formed coals.
It looks so convincing.
Yeah, I want to give the feeling that, you basically go to the coal bunker and you might pile the coals in, and here's the slag pouring out. And we chose that this would have a dragon theme. You can see Dragon Fire Forge is what we ended up calling it. And I happen to have these dragons from sculptures that I'd done for something else on my own personal work. So we ended up using these, and these will eventually have some sort of sconce in it, a burning, flaming sconce.
Oh, nice.
And, once again, it's all just polystyrene.
Oh my God, that looks amazing.
So Ben sawed that out of a block of poly, and then Brian hard coated it for me. So you couldn't do much blacksmithing on it.
You hammer right through it.
And then these beautiful things, a friend of mine in China, I asked if he would make me some blacksmithing tongs. I think he made me 25 sets for a crazy small sum of money, but they're just perfect, aren't they?
They're beautiful.
Yeah. So,
wow. I am curious about the brickwork. Do you buy it in sheets and just build something out of it?
No, it's just, once again, on I think it was on King Kong, we built this wonderful, massive bandsaw, and it's one of my favorite tools in the workshop. I'm one of the only people stupid enough to use it. Should you trip, you'd become a side of beef.
Right.
And just making custom board templates, which you pin top and bottom onto the thing, and then you bandsaw through them.
To make the lines of bricks?
No, to make the cylinders.
Okay.
And then all the lines of the brickwork are just put in by drawing them on with a felt tip marker, and then going in with the edge of a folded piece of sandpaper.
Oh, wow.
Of course, to get the sense of the different depths. Right. Sanit worked on it with me and a couple of the others. I just go in and dig out a brick.
Yeah.
And then you hear that solid plaster, where that's just poly with a light coat of hard coat. So I've built that brick out with plaster. This was a clay sculpture done directly onto the top of the polystyrene former onto a sheet of plastic, and then we took a mold of it, sprayed it in hard coat. So you can see this is super thin.
Oh, and it's super durable.
Yeah, and then screwed down through some of the rivet holes, and then I just put a little dollop of glue on top of the rivet. Brilliant. And this was sculpted by Massa, who did a really beautiful job on it.
It looks like iron, and it looks like it was built in place. It's
amazing.
Amazing.
It's nice, isn't it? Then the stones are just polystyrene carved, each one individually carved and glued on.
And the thing that I wish the audience could see, because it looks great. I know that it looks great on camera, but the effect sells from here. Except for the fact that there's not heat coming off of this.
Yes, and there will be. We'll put a heater in it so you get a bit of heat off it.
Oh, good.
And once it's all joined together, at the moment you can see all the gaps.
Yeah.
But these were some of my nicest. I thought these were the loveliest. These things here. That's particularly beautiful.
That really is.
This was designed by Sam Gow, and you see it's a castle with the castellations and a little forest. And here's the dragon burning down the base of the castle.
And this is a plasma cut.
Just all plasma cut. And we've carried the same motif around the front of this grate here.
You know, this is a case where the roughness of plasma cutting works for you.
Oh, of course. Yes, of course. You can see we've done it on the legs of the table.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh, wow.
Eventually, this bellows will have a pipe that's running through into the forge.
Right.
But at the moment, and I thought, why not have a sleeping pig? Because you've got to have a sleeping pig. So just trying to come up with a very simple, quick character to shove in the corner, a Captain Cooker pig. And so he has no articulation in him, but the motor inside the bellows is, of course, articulating.
That's moving his shoulder.
Yeah,
oh my God.
So.
And can I ask, is a pig head something you just had lying around?
No. The body I've carved out of urethane foam.
Yeah.
And then I did just a half-hour sculpt on the head and then handed it off to Gong, who did the detailing on it. Wow. We tried to do something very quick and very simple. Darren made the beautiful leather pinny. Alistair made these terrific gloves. You see the boots have got cloven
look at
hooves
that.
on them.
This is the kind of boots an ungulate would wear.
Yeah. And in fact, between interviews with you this morning, I quickly knocked out these goggles, which are just a piece of EVA foam, some plastic sauce, the things at the Chinese takeaways you get sauce in, and then we've just clipped them together. Then Ancha did all this beautiful hair work.
The hair is incredible.
Once it's all dirty down, he'll be filthy, completely black. All this will be blackened down with soot and grit.
And made to look like he sits here
he's
every
living
day for
in
decades.
and he almost never moves.
Right.
Have food stains down his front. I put a bit of hot glue snot in this morning.
It's beautiful, Richard.
Wow. Great. I particularly like this sign. Johnny Fraser Allen designed it, and then I think C sculpted it in clay, or maybe it was Gong. You can see it's just urethane.
Yeah.
And then we took a silicon mold.
The colors are
lovely, eh?
It really is.
Yeah. And that will hang right here at the front. And now we're just collecting up some old bits and pieces, and eventually the walls will be just dripping with weapons.
Right.
Spears and shields and swords, and we're making those right now. And this old brazier will have a whole pile of weapons stuffed in it, some old coals that have gone cold.
And are you going to reveal to the viewers like some of the artifice that's going on here?
Yeah, exactly. I want to unpack how we've obviously made it.
Right.
Something like this, it yet has to be rusted down, but once this is painted, it will defy, just like all of your work, it defies the fact it's an incredibly quick thing to make.
And I mean, I guess I kind of imagine a docent like or someone coming up and showing you.
Exactly. Our tour guide would be able to pick this up and, donk someone on the head.
And that's awesome.
I know, it's straight out of Wile E. Coyote.
Right. Clumsy
Donk.
ambulance.
But then, of course, it's simpler to make something like the wooden box out of real wood.
Right.
So that I've just cut some planks and then using an Arbortech, just gone into the wood and ground it. Mike, who's laid the floor, you can see he's gone into it with chains and bits. So, we'll just grab a tool like that.
Right.
Because there's no amount of damage isn't real enough, so you're just smacking the thing around.
The thing I love as I look at each of these pieces with you is like, well, some of this is using some of the most modern technology you guys could bring to bear, and others is using the most primitive and the stuff you've been doing for 40 years. And you get an equal amount of pleasure out of both.
Oh, absolutely. I just love building things like this. It's just great fun at the end of the day. Things like, rather than just making a boring old square bracket, why not put a dragon's tail into the bracket and a little bit of fire on the bracket and thinking about things like that. Well, and it costs no more to make a fun bracket than to make a normal bracket.
Right.
You're still going to be plasma cutting it.
If you have someone who wants to rise to the challenge and
absolutely
add their aesthetic.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's thrilling. Oh, I can barely wait to actually see this thing when it's in place.
Let's hope people like it. And, this is really a photo opportunity as much as anything.
Right,
the actual tutorials on how you make a sword and how you make a bow will actually be out here on more formal Weta Workshop-like tables. But this will be for people to take photographs of and maybe enjoy the look of it and so on. So we thought this was nice. We've got to top up our water caddy every night to supply the water for the little atomizer. So we've made it an actual part of the prop set rather than having a hidden door that you've got to get in behind. Yeah. We figured that our attendant can just fill it with a bottle of water.
And in the accretion of all the little ways in which you save time and energy, you make it easier to maintain.
Hopefully, yeah.
That's uncanny how realistic that looks.
That's actually a vac form, just painted as you can see. Yeah. But then this is a trick I found on the internet looking up Halloween gags. And someone had posted a wonderful internet thing about how you spray urethane foam. And as it goes off, you sort of touch it, and you know how it goes sort of caramelly? Yeah. And that creates this wonderful slaggy, burnt coal quality. And then we just painted it black. And then with the addition of Joseph's lights and his fire, which you know, obviously he's doing for the waterfall as well, he's created this beautiful fire effect. So
it's great.
Yeah, it's great fun, eh?
Oh, so much.
I wish there weren't budget constraints. You could just go on forever.
Right. You know? Clearly, you just want to build a whole world like this.
Well, the lovely thing about this project, which is very rare, and you've sort of seen it with my own hobby work, is there's no client other than ourselves. Right. So you can, which is scary because it's totally on your neck whether you've done a good job or not. Yeah. But the flourishes of insanity, no one's going to pull you back from it. Right. It's totally up to you. So
it's thrilling. Thank you, sir.